I don't like I don't like um, I don't like what I saw tonight. Like definitely, let's talk about it. So let's hit the intro. In this hand is better. Three, two, one. This is Perspective Log X, and I am your host, E.A. Crespo. Perspective Log X, Lakers-fandom. Um, it's not that there was a lot of areas where the Lakers actually played well, but definitely there was areas where the Lakers definitely and you know I don't want to take anything uh, of the Miami Heat. They did what they needed to do. They did the switch that they needed to do. They used the screens well, and they are a good screening team. Um, uh, they transform sweeping or sliding um, screens into back screens, and that's an excellent thing. Um, the way they do it is like poetry. So I'm not taking anything out of Miami. They play to win, they play to fight, but I'm going to talk about why the Lakers lost, aside from the effort of the Miami Heat. Um, the Lakers needed to do a few things, right? That I mentioned before, that it was to be able to close out games, to use the shirt, the Mamba shirt, as a impulse, as a reminder that they have to fight hard. And the defense, they have to be intense, right? The defense was intense on the second, uh, at the end of the second quarter, at the end of the third quarter, and part of the fourth quarter, mostly on the fourth quarter, right? Which is something that we have seen the Lakers doing a lot. Start like stagnant, and then they kind of click into it. They can't do that with the Miami Heat, obviously. But there are other things that the Lakers did that were not um, good. And there is one thing, if you have heard me talking on my videos, there's one thing that Lakers or any team has to do aside of scoring and defending, and it's rebounds. Rebounds mean opportunities to score. Defensive and offensive rebounds, you know. And I didn't see that big effort rebounding. I haven't even checked the stats because I just saw the game, but I want to see um, how they did on rebounds. Let me see. I hate this overview because never look at look at that. The Lakers actually did rebound it better than the Miami Heat, but they didn't rebound it enough. I mean, I saw moments where they weren't rebounding that much, but the other thing is they didn't attack the basket enough. And I think one of the problems, like I said in other times before, um, they let me see. It was a roller coaster, definitely. Thank you. Let me see if I can get you a like here. No, it's only punishment, but I like your comment, Lance Danger. And I don't know. Let me see if I can at least give you props somehow. Let me. Oh, I can show it here. The comment. That's a good. Uh, that's a good assessment of the game. It was a roller coaster. Um, it was that was excellent from that point of view. It was an intense game. It was a fight. Uh, there was a lot of changes in leads, but like I said, a lot of the times the Lakers. There was a time. I don't know if you remember this time in the game. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's your character, right? That's the name of your character. Is it? Well, um, so the yeah, I forgot about that. If if so one of the things about the Lakers is that I don't know if you remember watching the game, and there's a moment where the Lakers grab um, either block a shot or just tip the ball out of the area. But for 1 second, nobody in the Lakers realized because everybody was running already to the other side, and they didn't even look at the shot. The shot did not go from Miami, and I think I don't remember if it was Anthony Davis who tapped it, and the guards were just moving on, and nobody picked up the ball momentarily. And I think KCP looked back, and then he in that moment grabbed the ball. But I saw that going on and on the first half, and even part of the third quarter, where the Lakers weren't even caring about trying to uh, uh, rebound the ball. And I'm not saying that Miami has really good rebounders and really good uh, guys who can box out pretty well. Um, but I said this, and this is my critique to the Lakers. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, yes, and that's the thing. My critique to the Lakers all year long. They are a big team, but for to be a big team, their dominance in rebounds is not that big. I've seen shorter teams maybe not out rebounding them in some cases, but being pretty close. And if you have, you know, pretty much 2 7-footers on the floor most of the time, and one of them is Dwight Howard. And, you know, JaVale McGee is 7'2", I think, 7'1" or 7'2". And Anthony Davis, he's 6'10", but he's got the arms of an 8 feet tall guy. You know, the those arms go forever. And so you would think, and having LeBron James also in the team, and having Markieff Morris, that you have a complete set of people that are rebounders. And interestingly enough, one of our best rebounders is actually Kyle Kuzma, which, you know. But the other thing is that this idea, um, yeah, Markieff Morris, he is a good rebounder, and actually he has been one of the best rebounders. And something that I didn't realize is or three the Lakers top three defenders right now, according to the plus and minus, are the first two are Markieff Morris and Caruso, and the third one is LeBron James, which I didn't. I knew Markieff Morris is a good defender, but I didn't know he was at the top right now in the defensive percentage. So it's kind of interesting. But I think the Lakers turn on and off this defensive energy. And when it's on, you know, most of the game, it's really difficult to beat the Lakers. But the Lakers have this tendency of turning it off for maybe 2 or 3 quarters. And then, yeah, Rondo is known to be a good rebounder, you know, in terms of guards. Um, yeah, you know, I'm gonna call you Lance right now. I, um, I don't know if you ever have seen a video of Laker Nation, but they have one of the two, you know, the guest host, but let me put it this way, is what's his name? He was in the WWE. Oh, I forgot his name right now. Oh gosh, he had like the master lock. Uh, his last name is Masters. I can't remember his first name, but he's co-host in LakerNation.com. They have a yeah. do you remember that WWE? I don't know if he got to be a champion, but he was pretty, big. He had a big push uh, on that the era where he was. He's still wrestling though, but he does some commentary on Lakers Nation. Uh, that show, Lakers Nation, they have a channel on and all that. But every time, like the last section of the show, they ask him to put the master lock on on somebody. Like if it's the coach who did wrong, or the player who did wrong, or somebody who did wrong, uh, he he puts the master lock, you know, uh, as part of the show. He doesn't actually does, but Chris Masters, yes, Chris Masters, that's the guy. Yeah, yeah, he's one of the two. He's a big fan of the Lakers, and yeah, um, I'm promoting a different channel, but I don't care because why not? And so yeah, it's something it's something to see, it's kind of funny, but like I said, I mean, the Lakers weren't even paying attention to the rebounds, and I think I think the Heat had clear that. Oh, he was his tag. I think I saw something like that of him being his tag partner for a while. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of videos about his entrance only, which is interesting. And so, so the Miami Heat, I think they knew that rebounding was something important, because I always saw at least three or four guys fighting for that rebound, and that was it worked. And I don't know if you noticed, there was some poor officiating on both sides of the floor, and I think sometimes refs do this. They have a bad call on one side, and they try to fix that one bad call with another bad call on the other side. And you know, sometimes you have to endure that when you're a basketball player, but it kind of yeah. Yes, yes. I think that was the victory for the Lakers on that game. Um, because yeah, and they need to have somebody like a ref in the booth that can overturn other refs, that he can see the play, because it's kind of it's kind of sometimes coaches want to review a play, but they have only one review, so they don't know when to use it, because um, they might need it later. And so, I think that at least, let's say limited, but a ref that it's watching the game on the monitor can at least him himself try to review that play and stop, the game and say, hey, I don't think that call was good. But it's something you got to leave as a player. You all you can do is advocate. Sometimes what players do is they tell, he hooked me up, or he did this, or whatever he did. Watch out for the next play. It's all they can do sometimes. And so, but it sucks when calls like that cost somebody a game. And so, they have to be aware of that, that they can decide, especially in the finals, decide a game by a bad call. Oh my goodness, that's not good. And so there was, I one thing I want to mention is I don't like this idea that everybody is now saying that the games in the bubble are not that good. They shouldn't be even counted. Yeah, exactly. The players should determine the game, not officials. And so, I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, people are dismissing the bubble. One is because there's two reasons. All the people always chose that this was the year of the Bucks, right? Or the Celtics. And the only person that from the beginning I heard saying Miami is going to come out of from the East was Stephen A. Smith. And they make fun of him because he was the only one who said Miami is coming out from the East and the Lakers are coming out from the West, when everybody thought it was the Clippers and everybody thought it was between Boston or the Bucks, right? So now people are saying, "Oh, these bubble games, they are not real." Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah. The Clippers. Look at this. Why a lot of Lakers fans are really upset at the Clippers. When uh, uh, Kawhi left the San Antonio Spurs, he said he wanted to go to the Lakers, right? So the Spurs, who are not friends of the Lakers at all, sent him to the Siberia of basketball, which was Toronto, right? Then he wins the championship there, and then he decides that he wants to go to LA. There was rumors he wanted to go to the Clippers, and there were rumors he will land in the Lakers. He went to the Lakers, and his uncle asked for a lot of stuff that are not legal. So Jenny Boss said, no deal. I cannot do that way. But we still want him. What else you want to have? And so the after that, he still started saying things that led to believe that he wanted to go to the Lakers, but he would not answer calls and all that, and kept the Lakers waiting. Lakers were after Kemba Walker and Jimmy Butler, but they decided to not go for them, so to dedicate to Kawhi. Kawhi was exactly that was actually that was an intelligent move. You know, if my team is on the Western Conference and the guy who helped me win a championship wants to leave, I'll send them to the East Coast. That is, yeah, that's a good move. That was a good move. But the problem is Leonard. Leonard doesn't look like he's got any um, loyalty to a team. And so when his uncle didn't get what he wanted, he still didn't say no to the trade, and the Lakers were asking, a lot of stuff. Like if you are with LeBron and AD in a team, you don't have to worry about low management being a problem. You see? But he decided to go to the Clippers, who didn't have a star at the moment. So he decided to do so, but still not, leave the Lakers in suspense while because he was part of it, they went to look for Paul George. Now, this is the thing about Paul George. Paul George is a monster until he gets to the playoffs. And at the playoffs, he completely melts down. That's something that always happens to with Paul George. And that's one thing that I was opposed when the Lakers wanted to get Paul George. Yeah, yeah, Paul George is probably. Oh, yeah, well, Leonard. Yeah, Leonard is probably the laziest one. And Paul George is, yeah, he's the guy who disappears in the playoff. Yeah, Doc Rivers. I read that Paul George didn't like Rivers that much, and obviously, there's a history with him when he was dating Doc Rivers' daughter back in the day in with the Pacers, right? So I don't know why he signed up. You know, if he would have signed up with the Lakers also, he wouldn't have that problem. And or if he would have signed with the team, let's say the Bucks, or I don't know if Miami needed him, but I think Miami is good with what they have, and Miami has a very young team, some veterans, right? Which is a great mix because these veterans are just gonna take these youngsters and put it in a a bigger level. And Tyler Hero is going to be a superstar. Well, he could have stayed in OKC, but I think it wasn't that convenient for OKC to have him because of that. In the playoffs, he goes from superstar to just role playing. You know, he produced like a role player. He makes a lot of mistakes. He shuts down. Like he starts failing, you know, shots, really open shots, and all that kind of stuff. So for him, OKC would have been good, but he doesn't appreciate that stuff either. Because I think, you know, the Pacers were a really good team. And if he would have become the marquee player for the Pacers, you know, but they traded him for Oladipo and um, what's that guy? The yeah, 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 and that's something else. Like he's supposed to be a defensive stopper, like he's a 3-and-D guy, but you don't see it sometimes. Sometimes his defense disappear as much as his offense does. So he's not that great for a team. He is great if he's the second or third option, but if he's the first option, is bad. And that's another thing with in the case of Leonard, people don't realize this, but who made good Leonard in the finals was Danny Green, who's now struggling too. Um, and all the other players that were in that Toronto team, and the fact that you know half of the starting lineup of the Golden State Warriors were injured. So even like more than half, because it was yeah, yeah, it would. And now this is the problem. I don't know how long, um how many years he's got a contract with the Clippers. He's got to stay there. He's got to stay there. And if Paul George is not going to go because is Doc Rivers he's gone. So from that side, but who are they going to get as a? I don't know if they already decided for a coach, but I don't know who. Yeah. Um. I heard rumors that the Lakers are after him too. So I don't know what's going to happen. I heard, that the Lakers won Van Fleet, but I don't know. They are targeting two or three guys for the trade. One is Oladipo, one is Van Fleet, and one is, which was the other one? Oh, they have Costas Antetokounmpo because maybe. Yeah, yeah, he would be a nice fit for point guard, and he can be a shooting guard if he wants to. But yeah, for point guard would be nice. It would take off a lot of pressure from LeBron James and from uh, Rondo. LA Sports Live, how you doing? And the Lakers had the 28th pick in the draft. Um, this kid Smith is his last name. I think he's 6'11" or 6'10", maybe 6'10", 6'9". I don't know. Every time it gets shorter in my mind. But he's got yeah, Van Fleet is an excellent playmaker that can score. Yeah, he can make shots for himself or for other people. And I think that if the Lakers target him, that would be I think a good position to fill. But there's a college guy in the 20 that might fall into the 28 pick for the Lakers, and he is a center. He's a short center that moves well as a guard. Have He's a shot blocker, but the one thing that makes him really good for the Lakers, if he has a nice 3-point shot, and that's why the Lakers wanted Boogie, because one is because Boogie Cousins and uh, Anthony Davis and Rondo were part of a playoff team, once. And so if you have Boogie on the 3-point line where he's dangerous, and you have then to choose who are you going to double? Boogie, you're going to double LeBron, or you're going to double Anthony Davis. It's going to be a really hard match because you got to get a big man to block Boogie Cousins, because he's 6'10", like Anthony Davis, but like Anthony Davis, he's got long arms. That's why he can block shots without jumping. And so, that's but I think the Lakers are going to make a move because they need that third scorer um, to take pressure off Anthony Davis and um, Kuzma might be able to do it. Kuzma is in a funk, but Kuzma, yeah, Boogie had solid minutes, and Boogie didn't have, because Anthony Davis takes a lot of the pressure from Boogie on the defensive end, on the rebounds, and all that kind of stuff. Boogie can still get rebounds, but he doesn't have to be the main rebounder. And then I'm going to say this. I would offer, if I were the GM, I would offer uh, I forgot his name. He's been on the bench. The guy we picked up from the Nets. Um, he's a veteran. He's oh gosh, I forgot his name. Let me. I got the info right here. I hate the overview because it doesn't allow me to. Okay. All right. If we take, I want to see what Devontae Cacott can do in the team. If we take Jared Dudley, me as a GM, playing as a GM of the Lakers, I take Jared Dudley and offer him a position with the coaching staff, right? Some position where he can still be a mentor. And though he's a good player, people don't take him seriously, but he's a good player. And he's a good 3-pointer guy, so he benefits. Uh, he benefits the team on that area because he takes pressure away from the front line when they are uh, in the offensive end, right? But um, but if I am gonna get Boogie, either gotta get him out or JaVale. I like JaVale a lot, so I don't know if I want to go there because he's JaVale is a good shot blocker. But the thing is, Jared Dudley is a good defender. He plays the forward position, so he can guard wings a little bit. I don't know, but I think oh Green. There's a lot of discussion that um, of making a package involving Green to the Pacers um, to get Oladipo, and it would be I think it would be Green, maybe Quinn Cook, um, Avery Bradley. I don't want to see Avery Bradley go, so I don't know who else. I don't want to see Taylor Horton Tucker go because he's part of the future. And Taylor Horton Tucker, I don't know if you ever heard of him or if you saw him in the playoffs. He is. I don't think he's 20 yet. It's like 19. And they put in a little bit against, I don't remember if it was against the Rockets, but he did whatever he wanted in those 7 minutes he was there. He scored. He had 4 steals. I mean, he was born to play for a defensive coach like Frank Vogel. So you know. So But like I said, Miami has a brilliant team that is still growing. So we're going to see a lot of the Miami Heat in the next years, in years to come. And all that's it. I've been talking like for 45 minutes. I think we are all tired. So I'm going to end this one right here. And I thank my friends very much for, commenting and, participating on this chat. Lance Danger, um, your secret identity is safe with me, but I think you put it on the chat, so whatever, Um, thank you so much for being here, LA Sports. He's always supporting me. So um, uh, my love for both of you. Yeah, 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 definitely. I was sweating. I was sweating in those the final minutes. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be probably tomorrow talking about game 6 because unless I have a chance on Sunday, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be tomorrow and it's probably gonna be in the morning, not that early, hopefully. But I'm gonna book it tonight. I'm gonna decide before I go to bed, and so the notifications are gonna be there. All right. So good night to my friends here, Lance Danger, uh, and LA Sports Live. Um, go to their channels. Everyone who watched this game after, this video after, go to their channels, subscribe to their channels, subscribe to mine. If you find it nice, and we'll be talking next time. Okay, bye bye.